Alright guys, so I was able to install Bootcamp, Windows 10 Pro and Home. Everything worked as fine. Now let's go over the things that I changed in order for this to work. So if you want the Bootcamp to work to install your Windows 10, this is the steps I recommend that I did, and I'm pretty sure it will work on you. So number one, make sure you upgrade to macOS Mojave. Okay, you got your upgrade to macOS Mojave. That's very important. Number two, go and download a Windows 10 from Microsoft website right now. The moment you decide you want to do Bootcamp install Windows, go and download it. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google and just type in download Windows 10. Follow the link that is from Microsoft, not from anywhere else. Click on it. Okay. Select the edition, Windows 10 from April, confirm. Select the product, English or what language do you want, confirm. And choose your version, 64-bit. All the CPUs, i3, i5, i7, they're all 64-bit. If you have an older processor, then it will be a 32-bit. So go from there. Now, I'm gonna cancel this because I already downloaded it and I don't need it. Remove from the list. Okay. So here I have it. It's downloaded. I actually have another one, but this one is a universal copy. It has all the version, Home, Pro, Education, Student, whatsoever. Now, number three, go and make sure, go to System Preferences, go to Security Privacy, and make sure your file vault is turned off, okay? That's one part. After that, you go and you make sure your Time Machine is not backing up automatically. So if it does, uncheck this, uncheck it. And then if you have a disk selected, go and remove that disk. So you would select it and remove that disk. So you make sure you don't have a disk selected in Time Machine. Now, when this is done, go to the next step. You go into Terminal and please check, let me do this. Go into Terminal and check if there is any local snapshots from Time Machine. For that, you have to type this, tmutil list local snapshot space /out. Type this, press enter. So I don't have any. If you have any, there will be a list, okay? There's going to be a list. If you have any, then delete them, and do that by running this command. There you go. tmutil delete local snapshots, and here at the end you're gonna type in the date and the numbers, the date and the time from that list for each snapshot. Okay, but I will tell you honestly that Mojave will clear those snapshots for you. In High Sierra, it won't clear them for you, so you have to delete them one by one. Alright, very important. So you make sure you do this. This is all the two commands you need. List local to list them, and to delete them, it's this command, okay? So you make sure you delete them. If you have High Sierra, you don't want to upgrade to Mojave, then you have to delete them. In Mojave, you don't have to delete them, but you can do it just to make sure you'll be on the safe side for Bootcamp to work properly, all right? Because I did it in Mojave and I had a local snapshot and the Bootcamp still worked, okay? All right, so this is the last step. The last step that you need to do is this one. Let me just go here and show only volumes, okay? Actually, no. View show all devices. So I have installed a 1 terabyte Samsung 970 EVO, 1 terabyte. And for this Bootcamp to work, you want to make sure you have only one partition. That's it, just one partition. I had a few, I tried a few times when I had two partitions. So I had 1 terabyte. Usually what I do, I split it in half, because first half I'll use it to install the operating system. The second half of this 1 terabyte, usually I use it to store my documents and so on. And this is where Bootcamp fails, and it gives us this error. Let me see if I can pull it up. The error, not this one. Yeah, this error, your disk could not be partitioned. It gives me this error, okay? Because I have, you can see here, macOS, this is one partition that I have, and workspace, this is my second partition. So if you want the Bootcamp for you to work, make sure your SSD has only one partition. That's it. If you have two partitions, then you need to delete the other partition, or else Bootcamp is not gonna work. Well, at least for me, it didn't work. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to do this again to show you guys that where it fails. So let's get into this. Let's go ahead and open Bootcamp and see what issues we're gonna have doing this installation. So we're gonna go to Launchpad, go to Other. Okay, Bootcamp. Here's the Bootcamp. So I'm gonna click on it. Make sure you do a time machine backup of your system, so you, just in case things go wrong, you have a time machine backup, so then you can restore just in case. So I'm gonna click continue. To install Windows, please choose the Windows ISO file, select the partition size, then press install button. Oh, ISO file, huh. Alright, so I just copied the ISO file on this bootable Windows 10. I didn't know it needs an ISO image. I thought it's just going to install regularly from a USB, just like you would do an installation of operating system. So let me just plug it in, copy that ISO file. This is a Windows 10 that I downloaded on the 23rd, September 23. So I'm going to open it. Alright, so, oh wait, I said I'm going to do 150. Okay, 150. Please select Bootcamp partition. Once the partition is created, it cannot be adjusted. Windows support software will be installed after completing Windows. Okay, so just, I guess, let me remove this USB because we don't need it. Eject. Okay, so I'm gonna remove it. So let's click install. Okay, no, I'm not gonna connect it. Let's just go like this. I don't want to waste time, get the cable and connect it, blah blah blah. So let's just do it like that. Alright, your disk could not be partitioned. An error occurred while partitioned. Please run disk utility to check and fix error. Okay, so alright, so something, it could not be partitioned. So let's go open disk utility and see. Maybe that's why people can install it, huh? Where is that disk utility? Right here. So look, it did something. So what happened? I mean, it's right here. This is the ISO that it was mounted. So what happened? Okay, so I have macOS, which is 500. Workspace, this is the one that he split, the second one. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take this one. So let's erase that partition. Wait, not erase, partition. So I can delete that. Okay, what about I can delete this one? Okay, so here we're back to square one. I deleted those partitions that they were created. Now, all right, so let me copy my ISO file on the desktop, because I'm gonna go ahead and format. So APFS 500 apply partition. Alright, that's it. So I deleted those partitions that the Bootcamp created. So let's go back here and click continue. Okay, so let's try again and see what's gonna happen. Alright, so your disk could not be partitioned. An error occurred while partition. Please run disk audit to check and fix errors. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to do this again to show you guys that where it fails. So in order to do that, I need to do a time machine backup, so I have some local snapshots, and you guys will see that that's not affecting. And I also am going to revert all the changes. So basically I'm going to delete this Bootcamp Windows that I installed just now, in which settings on this laptop that I have right now the Bootcamp doesn't work, so you have what to compare in your situation. So as I said, I'm going to delete this Bootcamp where the Windows installed successful with all the drivers, everything in that worked fine. So I'm going to go ahead and press the macOS or Bootcamp. Let's just click on Bootcamp, partition, and I'm gonna delete this partition by clicking on this minus. Okay, and then I want to show you guys the scenario where Bootcamp doesn't work on my end in my story. So maybe that's your story, but let me just show you guys so you see the problem. Okay, it's done. Okay, so in my situation, like I said, I always have two partitions when I have a hard disk, whether it's Windows or Mac, it doesn't matter. I just like to have a separate partition where I keep my documents. So I'm going to partition this one. I'm going to add 500 to 500, and usually I name it workspace. This is the name I always put. Apply, partition, continue. Alright, it's done. Okay, so I have two partitions, right? The first one is 500 gigabytes where Mojave is installed and it's APFS, and the second one is APFS where I usually keep all my documents and programs and whatever I'm working on it. So in this scenario, it's not gonna work. Even though I don't have any local snapshots. Look, TM list local snapshots, none. Okay, now my time machine is turned off. There's no disk selected, it's turned off, and the security privacy file vault is off. Okay, I have even downloaded the Windows 10. I just downloaded today, and I'm updated to Mojave. There you go, it's Mojave. So in this scenario it's not going to work, so let me show you that. I'm going to go open Bootcamp and I'm going to click continue. This is the funny thing, not the funny thing, but the weird thing. It doesn't let me choose which partition I want to install this on. So I have two, right? When you don't have the second partition, it will choose the original macOS where the Mojave is installed. But in this case, it chose the second one because it says here APFS container disk 2, and you will disk 2. It's my second partition. But anyways, this is where it fails. So the ISO file, actually this is not right. Let me do choose and go to desktop and choose this one, open. Okay, I give it 100 gigabytes. You can do 50 gigabytes is minimum, because if you're going to install a couple programs, then 50 gigabytes are going to be full. So 100 is normal. If you can do more than 100 is better, but 100 should be your limit, normal limit. And let's click install. So let the process go and we'll see if it gives error or not, but I'm 100% sure it will give error just because my Samsung is partitioned into two partitions. And you watch this. so here's the partition of the disk, and it's gonna fail, of course, because I know it's gonna fail because I've done this like 5-6 times because I'm testing this out for you guys. So here's my point. So I'm gonna leave this on the side. Okay. Again, let me explain. If you have your so the SSD that's installed in your MacBook has to have only one partition, just one. Your entire SSD must be one partition. If you have more partition, you have to delete them, or else it's not gonna work. That's one of the problems. I can't possibly test every scenario because everybody has their own scenarios, their own laptops, but I would tell you in this case, make sure you're upgraded to Mojave, and please make those beta versions are not gonna work, okay? That's why they're called beta versions, because they want you to run their software, beta software for them, and when you run into a problem, the data will be sent to them so they can fix it. That's how they test their new software. So that's not, I don't know, I can't tell. I have updated to Mojave 10.14. That's it. There's no beta version, nothing like that. Okay, so you want to make sure you have only one partition. So it says your disk could not be partitioned with, which this is wrong. I mean, this is total wrong, because if you look here, this is it created. This is where it copied that files that need to be installed after you install Windows, and this is the Windows partition, 100 gigabytes, just like I said it. So they were created by Bootcamp, but for some reason it doesn't want to go on. Why? I don't know why. I can't tell you. So this didn't work. What other problems might be that it's not working? Like I said, the time machine, the local snapshots, the file vault, and make sure you download this Windows ISO file. I think that's very important. Now let me delete all these partitions because I don't need them. So you always have to start with the smallest one, because if I start with this one, see, there's no minus, it's not active. So you start with the small one and press minus, and then another small one and you press minus. And then I'm gonna minus this one again and make one big partition. So my entire SSD 1 terabyte is gonna be only one partition. Let's see, CPU 80 Celsius, CPU proximity 55, DDR 46, palm rest 33, SSD 43. Oh, it's still hot. Okay, so let me remove this one. That's what Bootcamp created. Okay, so I have my SSD and one partition, APFS format, macOS Mojave. I think so. I'm not talking about beta. Don't ask question about beta and all of that, because I can't test all of it. I'm just trying to narrow down the possible issues that could cause you having issues. So my recommendation, try to update your MacBook closer to my settings. I don't think it matters what SSD you have, Samsung or Apple or SanDisk or Western Digital SSD, doesn't really matter at all. All it matters, you have one partition, APFS format, okay? Mojave 1014, no beta version here, okay? So now it's gonna work 100%. I can do this over and over, but I want to see in the cases when it's not going to work. So let's create those conditions where it's not gonna work. First, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set my time machine to back out automatically, and I'm gonna set the time machine to back up. So I'm gonna use my external hard drive. This is where I usually do my backups. I'm gonna insert it in the USB. Let me give it a minute here. Alright, so here I have it, and this is my time machine that I usually do it. So use disk, and I'm gonna run the backup right now. So what I'm trying to recreate is I'm trying to recreate this scenario where I know 100% will work because I have one partition that I know 100% it will work because I'm upgraded to Mojave. I know 100% is gonna work even if I have selected this time machine backup and I have local snapshots. It's gonna work. So I'm trying to recreate this where I'm backing up everything, and I'll have the time machine running automatically with local snapshots, hourly backup, daily backup, weekly backup. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have daily and weekly and hourly because I'm doing this video and I'm doing the backup just now. But at least if I'll have at least one snapshot in here, that's what I want. Okay, so here I just run this right now. Let me close it and run it again. So terminal, and I'm gonna run that command, list local snapshot. Okay, so I have one time machine snapshot, so which is good. This is the scenario that I wanted to create, because some people are saying if you have local snapshots it's not gonna work, and I'm 100% sure this is the problem when you're in High Sierra. In Mojave, I think they work this thing out, so you don't have to worry about local snapshots. But let's go ahead and see. So I'm gonna wait for this to back up really quick. Okay, so time machine backup is done. Let's go to terminal again, and let me list the local snapshots. So I have one only. So this one is the local snapshots. I don't have really a lot of time to keep having, I wish I could have more snapshots, but one is enough. Okay, so we have one snapshot. So this is a problem, but I am sure 100% this snapshot that I have, it's not going to be a problem. Now, I will leave this backup automatically, and the disk is selected and is inserted on the USB, and I have only one partition on my SSD, so I know 100% that it's going to install because it's one partition. That's bottom line. Mojave with one partition with local snapshot will work. Okay, so let's give it a try. The only reason it won't work is because I have this my backup drive on the USB, so it might tell me to remove it. Another thing why it won't work is maybe because of the time machine. We're going to find out, and maybe because of the local snapshots, and we're going to find out that too. So let's start. So I'm going to click on Bootcamp. I'm going to click continue. Okay, so the first thing it tells me, Bootcamp Assistant, external storage device attached. Please remove any external storage device attached to this before you continue. If Bootcamp is very specific about an external hard drive, even a USB device like a flash drive will be the problem. So I'm going to say okay and click continue again, which I didn't remove it. Okay, so let me eject, and I have two partitions, so eject all. Okay, that's it. So I'm gonna unplug my external hard drive. Here you go, I unplugged it, and you can see it here, it's gone. Alright, so now let's go ahead and click continue. So choose, go to desktop and choose your Windows like this, open. Okay, I'm gonna go with 100, 200, no, let's do 100 gigabytes because maybe a lot of you can only afford 100 gig. Okay, the one's 101, okay, fine. Alright, so macOS, one partition like I said, Windows 10, I have my time machine disk is still selected here, and I have my automatic backup, and I still have my local snapshot. Check this out. I'm gonna check it again. List local snapshot, enter. See, there's none. So as soon as I start Bootcamp in Mojave, the Bootcamp already cleared this snapshot for me. You see, it's nothing there. It's gone. So Bootcamp already cleared that out, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, let's see if the time machine is the problem. If, and click install. So it's asking for password. Go ahead and enter your password. And yeah, continue on power battery. Partition and disk. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. if it's gonna work or not. So what do you guys say? I'm 100% it's gonna work. I'm 100% it's gonna work, but let's see. I don't think this time machine is a problem. This one. And I don't think this one is not a problem because there's no local snapshots. All right, look at that. Look at this. It's copying files. So this was failing right here before. So you can see it's already created a 2 partition. Now it's copying the files to this partition, and then it's going to ask me to restart. So it's working. So you don't have to remove the time machine backup. You don't have to uncheck this. You don't have to delete this. But this is for Mojave, okay? This is Mojave, not High Sierra. The only thing the Bootcamp will fail if your MacBook SSD is divided into more partitions. This is the only reason in my case on this specific laptop, on this specific, but it's Mojave 1014. So if you have Mojave 1014 and you make sure your SSD is not divided into any partition. If it is, you have to delete those extra ones and make it back into one. And I showed you that earlier how to do it. But I can't answer all the questions because you guys have so many different configuration on your laptops. But the idea is that you need to have one partition. Your SSD must be in one partition. And this is my bottom line. So as soon as I type in my password, it's going to restart automatically. So do I want to restart automatically and install Windows? Because I did it like 3 times already, and Windows installed properly all the drivers and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my password. Okay, so I have my password typed in. I'm going to press OK, and this is what's going to happen. The laptop will restart and the Windows installation will start. And the Windows will start automatically. It's going to restart one time. This will take about 10 minutes. Let me just do it really quick so you guys will see. I don't have a product key, so I click on I don't have a product key. I'm just going to do the home. Click next. I accept the license. Next. The Bootcamp is selected automatically. It's 95 gigabytes, so click next. And let the process do all the copying and installation of the files. Alright, so it looks like the Windows installation is done. Now it's going to get all the devices ready. It's just the first run of the Windows. Probably you know that already. Alright, so let's set it up really quick. US, skip. Connect to a network. There's no drivers for the wireless card, so skip for now. And the name. Dennis. Next. No password. You can set up a password if you want. No. And I'm gonna take all this off. I don't need no tracking. Accept. Alright, and we're just gonna do a few more things. So this is the app. I'm just gonna click, and this is the Welcome to Bootcamp installer. This will install all the drivers, so just click next. I accept the terms and click install. This will install all the drivers for everything in order to work properly. Okay, so the installer finished everything. I'm gonna click finish and it will restart. So it looks like everything was installed. Everything was, let's see, device manager. I just want to check if all the drivers are installed, the sound. Yeah, everything is installed. There's no exclamation sign, the little triangle. So that means everything is installed properly and everything works fine. Here I have my Wi-Fi, so if I connect to the internet, it will connect. Okay, let me just do it so you guys can see. Okay, it's connected. Alright, there you have it. Internet is working, everything is working. Close. Alright, so let's go back to macOS. Restart. So again, when you go back to macOS, you just want to hold the Option key, alright? So hold the Option key, and then you choose which one you want to boot. Okay, you want to go to macOS, Macintosh HD, whichever you have, and click Enter or Return. Alright guys, so I just showed you it works shared by 4 volumes. When you click on the name of Macintosh HD, that's okay, that's normal. Okay, so I show you when it works and when it not works in Mojave. So if you guys have issues with Bootcamp failing, then this is the few things you can do. But I show you that in Mojave it works with a time machine backup, and I show you that Bootcamp deletes in Mojave all the local snapshots. It doesn't do it in High Sierra. So for those who are watching and you guys have High Sierra, I highly recommend you update to Mojave and then give it a try. And if you have a second partition like me, you have to delete it. If something fails when you, like, let's say the bootcamp finished and it restarted and the Windows installing, if that's failing, well, that's the problem. If Windows is creating, somebody mentioned, it's creating that loop where the installation keeps going on and it restarts and goes on and it fails, it gives you a blue screen or so on, then you need to download that ISO file from Safari, from the Microsoft website. Again, download the latest one and try again, because that's not related to Bootcamp. If the Windows installation fails, that's a Windows problem. That's maybe the Windows, I don't know, it all depends on your laptop or iMac, you know. Sometimes the partition might fail is because your SSD is actually not in a good state. They might have some problems, it might be damaged, and you're not gonna know. There's some software that will test your SSD, but in some cases, yeah, the SSD might be damaged, and that's the reason why you can't install it. It's very hard to tell. Everybody needs to be, when you guys comment something, you guys have to comment in details, like, my bootcamp is failing, and you have to say why. You have to explain in order, if you want to be helped, you have to say what macOS you're using. How many partitions do you have? Did you delete the time machine? Did you delete the local snapshots? You can't just comment and say, hey, this is not working, I don't know what to do. Well, we understand that it's not working, you don't know what to do, but in order to fix that, we need more information. And let's say you tried everything. Let's say you upgraded to Mojave, you have one partition, like I said, and it's still not, you can't, Bootcamp is still giving you some errors. The best advice that I can give you at that point, when you tried everything and nothing works, I would, if I were you and I really wanted to get that Windows to work, then I would do a time machine backup on macOS Mojave, if that's the case, or High Sierra. I would create a bootable installer, USB, just like the one I have here. I think it's this one. So you would create a bootable installer of Mojave already. There's no need for you to have High Sierra anymore. You go ahead and insert it in your laptop. You restart and press option button when you restart it, and you make sure you boot from that USB. Usually it's called EFI. And then when disk utility opens up, you can just erase your entire SSD into one partition. You just erase it in APFS format, and then you can restore it from your time machine, or you can just do a fresh copy and then try Bootcamp again. That way your machine is freshly, you have one drive formatted under APFS, just one partition, and it's just freshly formatted. And then try Bootcamp right away before you do anything else. You guys comment down below, and we'll see. Hopefully this video will help someone. So if you have High Sierra, my advice is upgrade to Mojave, and you should be able to use your Bootcamp just fine. This video is a proof for me. I did my testing a couple of times, so I think that's enough. I don't have High Sierra, and I don't want to install High Sierra just for testing purposes, because I think everybody should just move on to Mojave. Yeah, that's it. If you guys have comments, questions, ask down below, okay? But first thing you do, make sure you upgrade your system just like this. So we're going to be at least on the same page. I hope this video will help you answer some of your questions, and I hope you can install your Windows with Bootcamp. Good luck, guys. Like, subscribe, and share, please. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.